for educational critical review and reaction is the late, great Jordan Maxwell.
In the 1950s, you kind of saw how the teenager started being targeted on a smaller scale in the 50s. But now it's to the point where, my God, they're living off the children. The whole,
of course they are.
You know, by the time your child 10, he's taking 20 different medications. You know?
And he's that's what Hollywood's all about. I mean, it's everywhere.
All kinds of business and
the whole world is far, far more different than what we think it is. Far more different. It's really, really, really bad. I know. This is the way I feel. I don't know who's listening, and I don't really care. I just do what I do, and if somebody's listening, that's fine. And if they're not listening, I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. And so I just don't consider myself to be of any importance at all. I don't see myself as important at all, period. And therefore, I really don't realize, I don't understand, realize, or even care to know of my popularity in the world. I don't see myself as important. I don't see myself as popular. Not at all. It's very difficult to see yourself as being important in this world at all, or popular at all, when you sleep on the floor in an airbag in somebody else's home, broke with nothing.
Yeah.
Sleeping on the floor with nothing.
But that happens to all that. You know, that's a sad story, and you know, it's even sadder that it's happened to so many people, like Royal Wright.
I know.
They made him out to look crazy, and they, you know.
That's right.
Anybody who even tries to use that shit goes to prison. How you.
That's right.
Feel, you know, it seems like if you're really honest and you're really trying to get somewhere, you don't get shit. You just get fucked over.
You ain't getting nothing. You're gonna get fucked over, and if you don't shut up, you're gonna get whacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna find your body in an alley in Long Beach somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. There's even people have had to go in exile. Have had to, you know.
I know some of the best people out in the world, some of the best researchers and best minds out there have gotten, you know, they put something out that they were not supposed to, and shit, they've gone into exile and nobody knows where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
shit. Yeah,
that's how bad it is. That's how scary it is. And I know it. I'm not stupid, so I know what's going on. That's why I'm trying to kind of dropping out of sight anymore. I'm just dropping out.
Yeah.
You know, I've got so much I could tell people, but I'm not about to.
But you're saying you don't got any fucking. If you do say it, there's no fucking protection. You can't say anything, because then if you say something, somebody got you on a list and all kinds of fucking shit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You got people.
Now, I'm also told. I've also been told that I have protection. You know, well, that's true, and maybe I do, but it sure as shit don't look like it. But then again, you know, I'm still alive. I'm still here.
Yeah, that ought to tell you something, you know.
And so I guess it tells me something. Maybe I do have protection, but so what it tells me, all right, maybe I do have protection. But I'm not going to go out looking for trouble. I think I'm just going to retire quietly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to retire and drop out. And did the best I could. Tried to do the best I could. Didn't have a dime. Never had a dime. And don't have shit now. And they ain't ever going to. So that's it.
Yeah,
I did the best I could.
You know, what pisses me off a little bit is you got these people out here who are talking about be positive and be love and light and shit.
Yeah, bullshit.
And I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. So who, you know, can you tell me a little bit more about what happened to Kennedy? And then they go, oh no, we can't do that. Oh, you know, so
yeah, right.
You know, if it's so, you know, if you're so much in the love and light and all that shit, shouldn't the love and light be revealing more of what's in the darkness? Shouldn't we be getting more information? So what's the holdup? You know,
that's it. You know, no, you're right. You're right. That's exactly right. And and then when you find out, when you talk to these people and start talking to them, you find out how much they really don't know.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
That there actually are fucking morons.
Yeah, Stuart Swerdlow, you know who he is?
Yeah, of course I know.
His wife picked up the phone talking about, you know, $350 to set up a constellation to go
Yeah,
go
yeah.
over all this shit and stuff, and all the shit on his website, like you clear
I know all about it.
clear your energy field for $500 and all this shit, and
Yeah.
and you could
But see, I know him. I know Stuart Swadlow and
his
Al Bielek and Peter Moon and Preston Nichols. All those guys, I know them all real well.
You know, his grandpa, I think his grandfather, Stuart Swerdlow, was like the first leader of the communist movement or something.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that made me feel warm and all over. Made me feel good just to know that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I knew about that.
Yeah.
I went back to Philadelphia twice. A few years ago, I flew back to Philadelphia and did a long, extended weekend seminar with Al Bielek and Preston Nichols. It was Preston Nichols, myself, and Al Bielek, and we were speaking on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I know Preston Nichols and Al Bielek.
Yeah, Al Bielek was with the Philadelphia experiment. He's is he still around?
No, he passed away. He was in Florida and died.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yep. But
yeah, I remember him with the I remember you saying you asked somebody about the Philadelphia experiment that was high up in the military.
Oh, that was Colonel Tom Bearden.
Yeah, and he got kind of disgruntled.
Yeah.
But he basically let you know there was something to it, though.
That's right, exactly. He said, I can't talk about that. And so I said, well, I don't want any state secrets or nothing. He said, no, I said, I can't talk about that, period.
Yeah. There's a lot of... Yeah.
In other words, I ain't talking about that at all, period. Well, when a man like Colonel Tom Bearden at the top of America's scientists tells you something like that, that means he answered your question. My question was, is there anything to it? And the answer was very simple. You bet your ass there is, and I ain't talking about it, so shut the fuck up. So I said, well, I guess I got it. I think I figured it out. So, whatever.
Yeah. And
let me ask you something.
Okay.
Did you say you were out here at one time?
Yeah. I go back. I go to California about once a year, and I'm about overdue. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about going out there in the next couple of weeks. I go to California. I've been going there since I was about 7. I usually go there like just once a year.
Well, what are you doing when you come here? You got family here or anybody?
No. Something draws me. This is the interesting thing. Something draws me to the location of the LA area. I don't know what it is.
You come to LA on your own. It's interesting because see, LA is it's called Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is city of the angels. Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, or Los.
Well, what are you talking about? Angels. Yeah.
The fallen angels.
Yeah, well, the angels are from out there, right?
Yeah, and Sol and Los, Los backwards, it means the sun.
Yeah, that's right.
Sol. Mm-hmm. Jordan, you think that the LA area itself, it seems like it has a significant spiritual presence there on its own.
Of course it does. Of course it does. What do you think? That's why Hollywood is Hollywood. No?
Yeah.
And of course, the city of the angels. It's a mecca for spiritual stuff. All the cults are here and all that kind of shit. It's all here.
Yeah. Over in Chatsworth.
So,
Chatsworth.
Yeah, Chatsworth is full of it.
You ever heard of Krishna Venta?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard that name in a long time though.
Yeah, he had a cult there before the Manson family in the 50s.
Yeah.
And then before him,
you know that in the Santa Monica Mountains, there's a huge retreat up in the mountains. That's it's all overgrown now. But it was an enormous retreat. You can still go there today.
Mm-hmm.
That was built for Adolf Hitler by all the Nazis here in LA.
I didn't know about that. I got to write that down. Hitler
that's
Santa
a
Monica.
huge. That's right. In the mountains of Santa Monica is a big mansion and storage house and storage bins, a big pool, and a storage facility for food, and an underground bunker, and it's an enormous place. It's huge.
That's where he went after the war.
But it was built for the Fuhrer because he was going to live in the Santa Monica Mountains.
That's where he went after the war. Sure.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but I don't think he went there. I think he ended up going to Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted him to come here if he won the war. If he won the war, and he defeated America, then they had a nice plush palace for him up in the mountains because he loved the mountains. So if he's coming to America because he's overthrown the American government and he's now the Fuhrer, then he liked the mountains. So they bought and built a huge place here in the mountains of Santa Monica Mountains for Adolf Hitler.
Yeah,
and it's even got the big swastikas at the gates. The gates have big swastikas on them, and
coming home to
and
where
on
it
the
started.
sides of it's all there. It's right here in the Santa Monica Mountains.
Yeah, that's just like where Santa Susana Pass is.
Oh yeah,
I've
been through it 100 times.
Yeah, where that the Manson family lived at that Spawn movie ranch.
That's right. That's exactly right. I was there. I mean, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, I always thought, the Germans, in 1970, when this stuff started coming out more and more and more about what had happened, and they were indicating the Manson family, I found out that they were saying, I wanted to interview, the Germans own half the, where they lived. The Germans owned the ranch that they were at.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised. That's exactly right. Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Like the Hughes Foundation or something like that was there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I was at a Sabbath dinner. A bunch of my Jewish friends invited me over for Passover.
Uh-huh.
At Passover, they had a Passover dinner in Santa Monica, and this is a couple of years ago. And I went down, and one of the guys there was a top reporter for the L.A. Times, Los Angeles Times reporter, and a very famous name in town. And he was there, and after dinner, we're sitting around talking, and I brought up 9/11, and he said to me, Jordan, I don't want to talk about that. And I said, oh, really? Okay. Why? And he said, well, I just don't want to talk about it. And I said, well, I just was, interested in the facts that don't make sense. He said, no, I don't want to talk about it, period. And I said, why not? He says, I don't care to know. I don't care what the facts are. I don't care. I don't want to know. As far as I'm concerned, the government is right, whatever they said, and that's it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So I said,
and that's a reporter.
Yeah, that's an LA Times reporter.
That's a reporter saying that, yeah.
Yeah. So I told him, I said, well, it strikes me that this is exactly what the German people said when the Jews were being marched into concentration camps. They were the people said, we don't want to hear it. No, it's all a bunch of bullshit. We don't want to hear that. Yeah, okay, well, there's none so blind as those who choose not to see.
Yeah.
It's not like you're blind. No, you don't want to know. So that's it. I understand. You don't want to know. You ain't interested to know.
But Jordan,
shut the fuck up.
You've had some serious protection too, though, because if I'm right, you've had entities or people out there, whoever they are.
Oh yeah, all around me. Yeah,
come in, just to provide provide the protection for you.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's no doubt about that. None. I know exactly right. You're exactly right.
But it doesn't mean it's not scary, though.
No, it doesn't mean, it really, to me, doesn't mean a whole lot, period.
Right.
Because while that may be true, it's also true somebody could kill you tonight. So,
yeah.
I hope I'm being protected, but I'm not going to bet on it.
Oh, I know. I've been. You know, it wasn't related to anything like this, but I've been shot at. I've had a gun held up to my chest before, and the only reason nothing happened is because there was a car at the corner, and the person holding the gun didn't want to. They didn't want to be witnessed. They didn't want to. And you know, I've had a few situations like that, and I know it. You know, I'm sure you've had a lot more, Jordan, because I remember you were at a diner or something. I remember you talking about.
Oh yeah,
somebody.
Yeah, that was.
You know,
that was down on Fairfax in Wilshire Boulevard in Fairfax. Yeah.
Yeah, but the people.
I've had lots of experiences like that.
The people who were doing this to me were basically nobodies. The people who were out to get you were, you know, this was a.
They're not even from this world.
Yeah, Men in was it like the Men in Black type of thing? You think?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jordan? Who are the Men in Black entities? Do you know?
Yeah, I have no idea, but I do know that when I talk with what's his name? The movie star. He was Saturday Night Live. What's the guy's name that was on
Dan
Saturday
Aykroyd?
Night Live?
Or was it Dan Aykroyd? Was Dan Aykroyd on there?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
I was out at Disney at a party, and Dan and I were sitting around talking. We talked for about an hour about all this kind of stuff, him and I.
Mhm.
He told me all about his brother and making the movie Ghostbusters and why he made it. But he was telling me the story when he said, I was in New York, downtown, and he said I went into a phone booth in New York, and he said, and when I was there, a black car, a big one, pulled up right there by the phone booth, and two guys in black, both of them in black, with sunglasses, and they watched me. They were both sitting there watching me, and he said that it was real spooky. I'm standing in the phone booth, and this car is parked there, and a couple of guys watching me.
Mm.
And he says, and so I turned to put some money in the meter, to put some money in the phone, and I turned back around maybe a second, or a second and a half a second, and the car's gone. And he says, so that scared the shit out of me. They were there, in a blink of an eye, they're gone.
Interdimensional type of.
There's no doubt about it. That's the only way it could happen. So he says, when that first happened to me, I knew that all this stuff that I've heard over the years from, there's no doubt there's something to it, because I just saw something I don't believe. Got two guys sitting here with black suits on, sunglasses, and a big black car. And I blinked my eye and turned just for a second, and they're gone. And he said, no car can move that fast. Nobody.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but it's not from here. So he says, so after that, now I'm a believer. I've already had enough experience to know there's something going on here we're not being told. So
that's kind of like, that reminds me of that story that you told about you told so many good stories, but you told a story about how airline pilot had went into a bathroom and came out, and he went like back.
Oh, that was John Anderson.
Yeah.
He was about 95 when I met him. 95.
Mm-hmm.
He was at least 92, I think, 93, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Roger Lear, the implant doctor. You know about him?
Yeah, the one who found the NASA. He found out that the microchips in the abductees were like emitting NASA signals.
That's him.
Yeah,
that's him. Well, his best friend was this guy, this Navy guy,
mm-hmm.
Anderson, John Anderson, and Dave Anderson, and and Dave was telling all of us. There was a whole bunch of people at Dave Anderson's home. Dr. Roger Lear, myself, and AJ from Brazil, and a whole bunch of people were all sitting around talking. And this is a guy who's like 90 years old, and he's not trying to get on TV and be a big movie star. He's just telling you what happened.
Right.
and he said he was flying over the Bermuda Triangle, and he went to the bathroom, and he was the pilot. He was the pilot, so he let the co-pilot have the plane, and he went back to the boys' room, and when he came out, he was in a different plane.
Yeah.
And he was shocked, and everybody on the plane was shocked. Well, where the fuck did he come from?
Yeah.
And he was thinking, no, where did you come from? I know where I've come from. Where the fuck did you people come from?
Right.
And they thought he had stowed away
Yeah.
And he said, stowed away? I'm a fucking captain. And he said, I couldn't understand what was going on. And so I went up into the captain of flying the ship, and he says, and the controls and everything in that plane was, that was old stuff. It was old. It was U.S. They were Americans, but it was old stuff. I didn't even understand how to work some of the stuff that was on that dashboard. And he said, and they wanted to know, who the fuck are you? And you stow away on the ship, and they were going to arrest him when they landed. And he said, no, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I don't even know who you are. And he said, we went back and forth. And so they told him, just go back and sit down and have a cup of coffee, because you're going to jail when we get back. If you stowed away, when we land, your ass is grass. So just go back and relax. And he said, so I did. I went back, and I decided to go back to the bathroom. That's it. Maybe I'm losing my mind. And he said, when I came out of the bathroom, I'm back in my plane. And he said, so I don't understand. All I know is what happened. I was in the Bermuda Triangle, and I was in my plane. I was a captain, and I went to the bathroom and came out, and I'm in somebody else's plane. Now, I don't know what happened or how it happened. I'm just telling you what happened. I can't explain it.
It's almost.
But when I hear shit going on being talked about going on the Bermuda Triangle, I'm here to tell you that shit is real.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's real.
Kind of like a
That's it.
Hyperspace. Like
yep.
There's portals and openings and.
There's no doubt. Yeah, I know all about it. Yeah. I've heard all the scientists and all all the people. I've heard them all. I've heard all the stories over the years. I've heard lots of stories.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of stories because I've lived here in Hollywood for 54 years. I know all the studios. I know all the big shots here. I know all the movie stars. I know all the directors. And I know the whole system. I know where it all comes from, how it works. I've been here for many, many years, and I know people all over behind the scenes. So,
Jordan, who's running? I wonder who really runs those hills back there, like Laurel Canyon and Benedict Canyon and stuff. They got the underground.
Nazis. There are underground homes.
Right.
One in particular. Nazis. They were mostly all. See, Adolf Hitler did not develop Nazism.
Nope.
Nazism was first of all developed in Studio City on Laurel Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Up on Laurel and where Mulholland and Laurel Canyon. Many years ago, there were extremely powerful, wealthy, industrialist Germans. And one of the most wealthiest German industrialists had a house up on Mulholland, off of Mulholland, and it was inside of a mountain. The house was inside of a mountain.
Mm.
They dug into the mountain and built a home there for him. And so you could drive by that mountain every day and not know that's a home inside that mountain. You just don't see it. And that's where the Nazi Party was actually put together. The whole idea and all the concepts and belief systems of the Nazi movement was all put together up on Mulholland Drive in Laurel Canyon, right here in Studio City.
Do they have any beefs? I wonder who do they beef with?
Oh, who knows? I don't know.
Because it looks like one thing that they don't like you talking about is sort of like the beefs that these people have with other groups.
Yeah.
Why is that so dangerous, do you think?
I know, well, it's just dirty laundry they don't want.
They don't want out on the street.
They don't want out on the street, yeah.
You know the China Lake base,
I know about China Lake, yeah.
I was listening to Dave Emery, like you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
And, he was talking about Frank Turple, and Frank Turple, Frank Turple was basically a mobster from Brooklyn. And he got recruited. He went to the army. Then he got recruited by the CIA. He ended up being Idi Amin's right-hand man. He basically turned Idi Amin into what Idi Amin became.
Mm-hmm.
He got him all the guns from England, and he did all this stuff. But Frank Turple was indicating that he had the help with a lot of people from the China Lake Naval Base to do all this.
Yep.
And Frank Turple got arrested, or he didn't get arrested, but he had never been arrested. They gave him a pass to leave the country, pretty much, when this all came out. But he had been robbing that base blind. That he had, listen, Jordan, even the President of the United States can't even get to some areas of that base because of the clearance.
Well, I know that.
But Frank Turple had him and a bunch of mobsters from the East Coast were robbing that place fucking blind. And the China, I mean, you have these high up military people and a bunch of thugs from the East Coast were taking high tech, sophisticated equipment off the base and all kinds of shit. I mean, it's just unbelievable because these guys are just gangsters.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a bad person.
No, it does. It does. I don't have anything. I don't have anything against them, but I'm just saying that.
No, I'm just being facetious as a joke.
Yeah, I just noticed that that you think about this stuff when you really think about the CIA and stuff. It's really difficult to when you actually figure out who these guys are. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why I've come to the point in my life I just want to be left alone and happily pass away soon. Thank God I'll be gone.
Yeah.
And because I know there is no hope for the human race, not just for America, not just for people in the U.S.
Jordan, this stuff I'm talking about isn't anything secret. All this stuff was mainstream. I know. This is all in the newspapers.
Yeah.
That's what this was all in this guy named Tony Thomas of the British Broadcasting Network did a big documentary series on this. And
yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised. There's been a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
Israel is the crisscross of the world. And therefore, any business that's going to be conducted in the world from Russia and China and India, England, Europe, Africa, any business is all going to go through Israel. You better check with Israel first, because you got to come through Israel, Jack, and you better have the cash in your hand when you come through. But you got to pay you 20% up front, or you gonna get an ass whipping.
Ain't that the breakdown of ISIS Ra and L too?
That's Israel.
Yeah. Yeah, people get, I told some guy I was talking about, I got a doctor's degree and I do this and that, and I was telling him about the World Israel Federation, British Israel World Federation.
Yeah.
And I was trying to teach him about it and teach him about how Israel was the center and it's ISIS, Ra, and El, and the guy almost had like some sort of panic attack or something.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. At least he could wake up, get his head out of his ass.
Jordan, they do that though. When you start telling them the truth, they get this weird look on their face, like they're gonna collapse or something.
Well, do you remember that movie that Tom Cruise and in the military? And remember what was his name? The other actor, and they were in the court. They were in a court martial. What was his name?
Oh, remember? Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And he said to the kid, he says to Tom Cruise, he said, "Kid, what do you want from me?" And Cruise said, "I want the truth." And he said, "You can't handle the truth. You ain't man enough to handle the truth. You want the truth. I'll give you the truth. bend over. I'll give you the truth. Yeah. Yeah, you want the truth? Yeah, the truth is you need a military. Because you damn well know without the military, they're going to cut your goddamn throat. So you need me. So shut the fuck up. That's the real truth.
That brings up a good point. I mean, if say like something like the CIA didn't exist, I mean, what else would be there? It would.
That's right.
Everything would go into some sort of, because most of the stuff happens behind the scenes anyway.
That's exactly right. So if the white guys didn't take over this country and found this country and set it up and arm it with arms, well, eventually the Africans are going to come over and do it. Or the Chinese are going to come over and do it.
That makes sense. Like if you look at a city like Compton, if you withdrew all the police and all the FBI and CIA and all that stuff out of Compton, the city would kill itself within a week.
Within a week.
Everybody.
There will be fucking bloodshed on the streets in a week. And the only thing that keeps that place quiet is that the gang called the police department are even more ruthless than the gangs are.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. So everybody just says cool. They just be cool.
Yeah. I even heard that a lot of, like, I was listening to this one guy, and he was telling me so many years ago, like in the late 70s and early 80s, somebody used to leave large amounts of guns and drugs abandoned. They would just abandon it there and let the gangs find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Like all kinds of shit like that happens.
Yeah, this guy was saying how there were, back in the early 80s, there was a truckload full of machine guns and drugs just sitting there, and the truck was sitting there for a few days until eventually the gang said that, you know, one of the gangs broke in the van and found all this stuff in there. It was there for them.
Yeah,
somebody left
it there for them.
Right. And the leaders, you know, when I was younger, I used to listen to rap, but I stopped listening and paying attention to the hype because I looked at all this stuff and it's so stupid the way they put these guys up there with all this money, and they look like with Jay-Z. Look at his rap label. It's called Rockefeller Records. Rockefeller.
Yeah, I know.
And
he talks about Jay-Z. He talks about Ja and Hova, and
yeah,
you know, and why? And you got to ask yourself, why does Hollywood promote this kind of music and promote movies about gangs and Fast and Furious and gang wars and gang movies and gang movies about war and violence and gangs? Why does Hollywood do that? Why do they keep promoting these gang movies? It's because they want the young people to get into gangs. They want it. They're not trying to stop it. Just say no, bullshit. They want the kids to get into gangs because that way they got control over them. That way they got control over them. So
yeah, and the guys they got promoting it, like the rappers and stuff, all these guys pretty much aren't even real gang members, but they got them up there dressed like gang members because they know.
That's right.
That's
exactly right. Keep them on drugs and shooting each other and give them a bunch of titties and assholes and drugs. Yeah, give them the drugs. Make sure they got plenty of drugs and plenty of alcohol and plenty of rap music and all that shit. Just fuck them. Let them have a good time on that.
Well, that's like with the Black Panther Party. In the beginning, they had some people who were at least halfway serious, putting breakfast programs together, and they weren't as focused on the militancy. They were trying to do something. They were serious about politics, and I saw that got shut down quick.
That's it.
They put
and Martin Luther King, when he was out there ranting and raving about the disparities between blacks and whites people were doing this and the black people were doing that, and as long as he was talking about blacks and whites, the government don't give a shit. Let him talk all he wants. But when he went to Selma, Alabama, and started talking about the rich have all the money and the poor people have nothing, oh, that's different. Now that's different.
The economics
now he's talking about the money.
Vietnam. He started talking about what will we do with all this money that was going into Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so then they said, wait a minute. The fool's talking about the money now.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you're talking about the money. So we got to whack you. We've had enough of your bullshit.
And not only did they kill him, they killed his mother and his brother.
That's right. So,
you know, his mother got assassinated in a church, and his brother, they found his brother dead in a swimming pool, strangled or something.
Well, I should tell you something right there.
Yeah, they hit. The same thing with. I remember I was watching your video about Kennedy, about something about. It was an older video you did in the late '80s, but it was about how you were saying in the video how about 100 people died.
Oh yeah, over 130 people died.
With Kennedy, right?
With Kennedy, absolutely, no doubt about it. Go back and read it. It's out there on the web right now. How many people died when Kennedy was assassinated? How many people died? It tells you. It'll give you their names and addresses and who they were and how they all were found dead. Their throats were cut. They were shot in the back of their head. There's about 130 people who knew too much. They knew the Kennedys personally, or they saw something they weren't supposed to see, or they found out something they weren't supposed to know, and they went bye-bye. They got whacked.
Who, Jordan? I thought the Kennedys were Catholic.
Well, they were.
So I thought that would have been good for the powers that be. Or were the was it was?
No, that would have been good for the Vatican. Great for the Vatican. But the Vatican's not the only dirty game in town. There's a bunch of other dirty games going on out there too.
Did Kennedy really want to do right?
I don't know. He was doing right on some things and wrong on the others, but it doesn't matter. He's gone anyway.